Yeah, this is Bang Bang Rail. Do you know what? I'm so lucky, that we got the media and we got people that look at our podcasts and our videos, and they come back with their comments. Yeah, this guy is called Old School, and he's come back in the comments and he said he can remember this guy called, what's his name, Eddie Wilkinson. Yeah, but now he's told me about it. I can remember Eddie Wilkinson, and he's saying that I was prop and Peter Lyons was prop and Watkins. He said Watkins was scrum half, and because Roy Atkins was scrum half, also Mickey Blackmore was scrum half as well in our rugby team. And these people remember us. It sounds like he's a screw. I'm not quite sure. I want him to get back to me. It's nice, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? After all these years, you're on about 1977, 78. Do you know, a long, long time ago, and they can remember all that time about me, Watkins, Peter Lyons, Eddie Wilkinson in the rugby team, yeah? And we had a good rugby team, mate. We had some proper names there. There's some proper names there. Mickey Blackmore, mate. Mickey Blackmore. What a proper man he was, mate. And Watkins, two guys that got murdered when they went over to Holland, and they was hitmen, but they got hit themselves, and they got shot and they got killed. And that's life, isn't it? I mean, you're going to go out and do them things, and that's what happens. But I really respect you, Watkins, and I really respect you, Mickey Blackmore. They was hard, very dangerous people, Wade was short, stocky, 5'8", but very stocky, powerful. Mickey Blackmore, 5'9", 5'10", well built, black hair. But Mickey Blackmore was always very on edge all the time. Mickey Blackmore, he couldn't play games with Mickey Blackmore. He was always laughing, but he couldn't really play games with him. He was a bit of an handful, Mickey Blackmore, and Peter Lyons, my pal Peter. But them old times in Chelmsford Prison, mate. You look back on it, and it was a prison, but it wasn't a prison as such, yeah, because you had so much, I mean, we had so much, and I really think that it wasn't so much a convict, maybe a set lights at prison. It was maybe a prison officer. Maybe it become too easy for us, and they didn't want it. I don't know, but Chelmsford Prison was a good prison, mate. I mean, any prison that you can just do really what you like to do. What other prison can you put the tables and chairs in the middle of the landings downstairs on the ground floor, and put all tables and chairs down there and have your Christmas dinner? You know what I mean? Lots of us had sat down there and have Christmas dinner. I mean, what other prisons could you do that in? Do you know what I mean? And what other prisons you could like not take the piss, but it was all put in plastic jugs, Scotch, Bacardi, vodka, and all that, and lemonade and bits and pieces like that, and it was all put into the plastic jugs, and so you could pick and choose what you wanted. I mean, and that proper dinner, roast beef, chicken, lamb, whatever you wanted to eat, roast potatoes, cabbages, cauliflowers, sprouts, greens, whatever you wanted. I mean, we're in the kitchen, so we can get anything out of the kitchen as such, yeah? Well, we did get anything out of the kitchen. And, you can imagine, you can cook anything. In Chelmsford Prison, they had about, 4 or 5 stoves in there. And, it was just always, 9 times out of 10, it was the same people that was cooking. There'd be Peter Lyons in the kitchen. There'd be Mickey Blackmore. No, Mickey Blackmore couldn't, because Mickey Blackmore was on B-Wing. B-Wing Mickey wasn't doing that big bit of bird. He was on B-Wing. I think Watkins was on the wing, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, people like Mickey Green, Peter Lyons, the old man Tibbsy, young Jimmy Tibbs. You had Ronnie Bender. You had Terry Millman, one of the ones involved in the Dome. There were so many. Togie Ludlow, my mate Togie, used to get him there. There were so many people. There's a guy, what's his name? He's a Christian now. He does a lot on people's on Facebook. What's his name? He's a Christian. He used to knock around Queensway and all them places, King's Cross, light-skinned guy. I forget his name, but he was an handful, you know. He was an handful in Chelmsford Prison. He was an handful, and he's gone right in now into the Bible. Fair play to him, mate. If he finds it, he finds it. You know what I mean? He's doing all right. He goes around the world preaching. I believe he's a what do you call him? People, not a preacher. What do you call him? Anyway, but people know what I'm talking about. He's he's a pastor. That's it. He's a pastor. And fair play to him, mate. He's doing what he wants to do. But the guy, when he was at Chelmsford Prison, he was an handful, mate. He was an handful, and I'm well proud of what he's done with his life. Yeah. There were some good people in there, proper people. I mean, I've already said I've done loads of videos about Chelmsford Prison, yeah. But for that to come out today about Eddie Wilkinson being a hooker, and it's, you know, like people watching. People like that, people going back in time, and it's good. It's good to find out, you know, and I actually know you and watch you play rugby and what you was like when you was in there, yeah. Go back them days, mate. I was massive, yeah. I miss them times, you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, we used to train 7 days a week in the gym, and not only train 7 days a week, I was very lucky to meet a guy called Tony Lawrence. Tony Lawrence was one of the Richardson's hitman, enforcers. Tony Lawrence, big guy with glasses. He was in the film called McVicker. He was the bodybuilder in the film McVicker. But McVicker took the piss out of Tony Lawrence in a way, made him out to be an idiot and a right fool. Tony Lawrence, big man, glasses. Very, very dangerous, Tony Lawrence, mate. I mean, the Sullivans shot him, I think it was 6 times. They shot him with a 2-2. He's got all holes in his face, all around his body where his bullets were coming out here and there, you know, and also shot him with a 38 from downstairs, not a 38, what is it, a 303 rifle, and through the chest, it come out the other side. I mean, look at the guy was still alive. It's unbelievable. And when they took him to the morgue, because they certified him dead, as soon as they cut the bottom of his feet to bleed him, he woke up screaming, you know, and they reckon the old Bill come in with big truncheons trying to knock him out, you know, and Tony Lawrence survived, and he got a big bit of bird, mate, and it was at the end of it in Chelmsford Prison. I should imagine there's quite a few people know Tony Lawrence. I've got big respect for Tony, mate. I mean, I met him on the road. Tony was very, very game. He didn't give up. He never give up. He earned lots of money, Tony Lawrence, on the road, on the pavement. He was very, very good at what he did. He asked me to get involved in a few things, but no, I wasn't interested at that time. But he was only fortunate. I was only sorry that I didn't, you know, because he just, you know, moved right on, mate. And he was, I mean, a couple of times I've been to his place in Fulham, and he had more guns around the walls than what was in. I mean, I was told, you know, what I'm telling you here was from Tony, and Tony Lawrence had someone in the in Chelsea barracks, and they used to bring him guns and hand grenades and all that. Yeah, seriously, mate. And Tony Lawrence was one of the most dangerous men that I've ever known. Anybody that drives around in the car with hand grenades and a 38 loaded and all that is quite dangerous, I feel, you know what I mean? It's bad enough driving around with a 38 in the motor, but about driving around with 2 hand grenades in the car. So that's why I pulled away from Tony. Not pulled away from him as a friend, I just pulled away from bits of work, because you couldn't work with the guys driving around with hand grenades in the motor, you know what I mean? You never know who's going to go when I'm pulling hand grenades, you're fucking dead. But, you know, the guy was game as a Bible. He's done lots of things I know about that I would never tell anybody. Fantastic guy, Tony Lawrence. But as I said, I had it good in there. Me and Tony become pals. Tony gave me a set of weights that he made out of cogs. he was in the boiler room and he made these big weights and he gave me them, yeah. And so every day, after my workout, I was upstairs and go straight into the toilet and do my workout with my dumbbells. I do tricep extensions and curls, sitting down curls, yeah. But one dumbbell, but I done a good workout, mate. I was to work out every night for about an hour and then get in the showers and this, that and the other. A couple of times, I've had a few fights with people that took the mickey out of me, really, to a certain extent, said, it's not what you got there, mate. It's in the heart, as if I had nothing there, you know what I mean? But they always come unstuck. They always really bashed them up bad, you know? But it wasn't a meant thing. It wasn't a meant thing to do that. It was just one of the things that happened. And I never threw the first punch. I never threw the first punch. It's like a film, Sylvester Stallone, First Blood. Yeah, mine ain't First Blood, mine's First Punch. I never used to throw the first punch. It was always the other person throw it. And once I threw it, mate, if they didn't do what they're supposed to do with the first punch, they was in trouble, because then I was doing done with it, mate. But you imagine being in the prison, yeah, where you can do anything, just anything, and get away with anything you want to get away with, as long as it wasn't murdering people, obviously. So, but there was a couple of murders in there, and didn't really see them as such, but see what happened to the guy's face when they got him, brought him out there. They banged everybody up, but I was in the kitchen, so you had to see it when I walked down to when we see him go through, and to see the things I see, it's a bit. I've done a lot of birds, you know what I mean, and prison's been a big part of my life. I'm not proud of that, but the only thing prison done for me really is made me want to write a book about my life and what's going on in my life, and some big things going on in my life, you know, and I put it in words, and I think everybody should read it. It's fantastic, mate. It's really, really good. I can't wait for the book to come out myself. I can't wait to read it myself, the Kindle and all that. I want to really get into it if I can. Every week, 2 hours, hour and a half every week. It's been like this now since last Christmas. I've been doing 2 hours to an hour about the book, you know, and it's very hard work. It gives you a headache when you've got to go back on things that you've done all that long ago, yeah. And once you've done it once, you've got to do it again and make sure it's all correct. And it's quite hard, you know, it gives me a headache. And sometimes I get mixed up with dates and times, but then I've got to get them together and we sit down and think about it and put things together, and it's a really fantastic book. It's a book I feel is one of the best books that ever wrote. Lenny McLean, all them sort of books that he's made, and Roy Shaw, they were the first ones ever to get into the unlicensed fighting and write books. At that time, it was such a fantastic thing they did, you know. But my one's far better than theirs could ever be. Yeah, and I'm so proud of it. I've actually now seen the front of the book and the title, but I'm unable to tell anybody at the minute until it actually comes out. But believe me, it's fantastic. Yeah, the way it's done is just unbelievable, and the way it looks is the business. Yeah, I love it, mate, and I just want everybody to like it, you know, when they see it. You know what I mean? And it's celebrated for arts, mate. Yeah, mate. A few people cry, believe. If it will, it make you cry, mate, because it's quite sad. Some of it, it's quite sad. But anyway, yeah. So I was talking about that was going on in my life, and I want to talk about the unlicensed fighting and the way it is today. You know, I remember in my times, you know, you should go down to where he was fighting, mate. Cats Whiskers, Streatham, Harvey Social Club, big one at Guildford, ones in North London, Mayfair, Tottenham, and other bits and pieces. Loads. Absolutely, maybe 20 different places you go to, yeah. But because you didn't have no phones as such as media and all that, it wasn't so. Perhaps if we had it in them days, it'd been the same. I don't know. But today it's gone crazy. They go to have a fight, and it's like, yeah, well, I'm going to fight you. And it never happens. It goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks, all talking absolute crap to each other. It don't happen. Believe me, if they was around in my time, they would have got smashed to pieces, mate. They wouldn't have lasted 5 seconds, you know, because they'd want 4 or 5 months to get this all ready, and it wasn't like that. You could go into a changing room in any of these big play fights that I've had, be Lenny McLean, Roy Shaw. I didn't see Lou Yates and them sort of people, but Cliff Fields, so many people, Columbo's. There's so many people that I forget all the names, you know. It takes me a long time to sit down and think about it. But all them people in there, yeah, they used to shout at each other in the changing rooms and bits and pieces, you know, and say, okay, we'll have a fight next week. And next week they'll have a fight. Now, they're all bitching. It's like a game. Bitch, and it's like crazy what they do, you know what I mean? They're going to get in there, they get out and have a few rounds in the bag, couple of rounds in the ball, couple of rounds in the pads, bit of sparring, and that's it. And they think that they're big time Charlie potatoes. And it never happens. It never happens. The fights never happen. It's just, it gets to me, mate. It gets to me. I think to myself, do you know what? I wish to God I was 10, 20, 15 years younger, mate, because I'd smash them all to pieces. I really would. I wouldn't ask me all the time now, you know. But in them days, 15 years ago, mate, 15 years backwards, I'd have smashed all them to pieces over in the last 2 seconds. Because as far as I'm concerned, they're all wankers. Well, sorry, that word wanker, shouldn't be used, but they're woolies, you know what I mean? They're complete woolies. They don't. I look at a few of them. Matt Legg's my pal. Matt Legg, I talk to Matt Legg quite a lot. He's my pal. Matt Legg's he's ex-pro. Anybody that's ex-pro, I think is the top of it all, mate. Top of the game. They know how to train, you know, and a lot of them get in the ring and tie you up and pull you around as if you was a little baby. You know, that's what they do. You know, and these ones now, the Joyces and all that little firm. You know, they're all running around 50 or 60-handed, 30-handed, all with gold teeth and pure white teeth and all that, and threatening this and doing that. And when you see them fight, they can't fight, you know. And it's a bit over the top, isn't it? You've got young Danny Christie. I see him train. I've seen him a couple of times in the ring. He's all right, Danny. He trains very hard. Sometimes he talks a bit over the top with his cup of tea in his hand. You know, he wants to clean that cup as well. He's trying to try and wash that cup, Danny. That cup needs cleaning, mate. You know, I've seen him in the ring and in the pads and sparring. He looks okay to me. He looks very, very fit. He's an old scaffolder, because most of them scaffolders are fit anyway. He's white muscular, isn't he? And he can bang Danny Christie, you know. But Danny Christie should get out of this verbal thing. And if he's going to fight Doug Joyce, or whatever his name is, fight him. You know, go and do the business, mate. You know what I mean? Because them people ain't doing too much, mate. You know what I mean? They're doing a lot of talking on the media, because it's what it is now. These phones and all that. Talk all the time, and that's it. But I'm gutted. Honestly, I'm gutted, really, that I can't do that. In a minute, a gym has just been built, not just for me, but it's been built, and you know. Anyway, this is I'm just going to sign off now because someone's ringing. This is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe, and have a nice day. Yeah, bye. Have a nice evening. Bye.